Can we agree that at one point in American history, like gay marriage was illegal?
Correct.
Okay, so it was the case that gay marriage was illegal. Should it have been?
I personally don't agree with gay marriage, but I don't believe it should be unlawful.
Okay. So yeah, you'd say that it like I think that that's crazy. But we'd say that it was illegal, but it
Many
shouldn't have been
Americans
illegal,
are in
and then
that
that's
same
why
boat.
we advocated for better legislation. So you're MAGA?
I mean, I voted for Trump.
All right. Why do you support his administration, man?
Well, I've been listening for this during this current debate for a minute or two, and I noticed that you were a SCOTUS absolutist as it relates to the decision on the Abrego Garcia, correct?
Well, by SCOTUS absolutism, I just mean in accordance with law, not with like morality, not with ethics, not with anything except examination of law. When the Supreme
And their
Court,
interpretation of the Constitution, correct?
that is the current legal interpretation. That fact cannot be denied.
Got it.
Given
And so
Congress doesn't pass a new constitutional amendment or they don't overrule a prior decision made.
But you're cool with them overturning Roe v. Wade, right?
So yeah, my claim about that would be yes. Right now, it is the case that there is not constitutional protections for women's access to abortion. Legally
Not
speaking,
only
that claim is true.
there's not constitutional protections, but that it's been overturned and that's unlawful, correct?
Well, I mean, there's nothing unlawful. More so, what is said is that it's not constitutionally protected, and that is the current state of American legality. Yes.
Wow, that's a hot take that I'm sure a lot of your viewers would be disappointed that you're willing to concede.
Literally anybody with half a brain would recognize that. The Supreme Court ruled that access to abortion is not constitutionally protected by women under the 14th Amendment.
So it is lawful for other states to restrict access to a woman's right to an abortion.
Yeah, it is lawful. That's why I voted
Wow.
for Kamala Harris to make it unlawful by passing federal legislation. Nobody
Wow.
denies that it's lawful for states to criminalize access to abortion. Our position is that we want to change them.
No, many people do. In fact, in past debates, I've overheard you making the claim or sentiments that it should not be restricted and that women should be able to have an abortion. And it's like
Absolutely.
these
Yeah, I'll repeat that right now. Yeah, absolutely. It should not be illegal in any state for a woman to have access to abortion. All American women should have access to abortion.
SCOTUS
That's why we should have
determined
federal law
that
to
it is
determine.
legal for states to restrict a woman's right to an abortion.
Well, what you're equivocating between is what is the case compared to what should be the case. Okay, it is the case that states can criminalize access to abortion, but it shouldn't be the case, given my view, that states have the ability to criminalize access to abortion.
So let's flip that back to Abrego Garcia.
For instance, I just want to detail the equivocation. No, I'm gonna detail the equivocation and get you to concede. Remember when gay marriage was illegal in America?
Well, you're dead on your tracks, man.
No, if I'm dead in my tracks, then let me wait. Jay, if I'm dead in my tracks, then let me make the argument.
Go ahead, mute. You're raging.
If I'm dead in my tracks, let me make my argument.
Mute me.
I don't need to. Can we agree that at one point in American history, gay marriage was illegal?
Correct.
Okay, so it was the case that gay marriage was illegal. Should it have been?
I personally don't agree with gay marriage, but I don't believe it should be unlawful.
Okay. So yeah, you'd say that it I think that that's crazy. But we'd say that it was illegal, but it
Many
shouldn't have been
Americans
illegal,
are in
and then
that
that's
same
why
boat.
we advocated for better legislation.
Okay, so let's bring it back to Abrego Garcia.
Why do you think that GAY marriage is wrong?
What?
Why do you think GAY marriage is wrong?
Are you literally spelling gay?
It's just TikTok to us, man. You got to do it too.
It's not TikTok. It's your viewers that flag you. It has nothing to do with TikTok.
It is.
So if you have sensitive viewers, there's plenty of people that have other platforms.
I'm the professional full-time streamer that spends 4 hours a day on this app, not you. Come on, just trust me, please. That's all that I ask.
Copy. Okay. GAY. This is a perfect barometer of how insane the left is.
No, it's how insane their TOS is. I disagree with their TOS. Yeah, everybody wishes that we could just say it on TikTok. That's not the left. Come on.
So shouldn't you find another platform that will accommodate free speech?
Yeah, like YouTube. That's why I'm dual streaming right now. It's a lot nicer on YouTube. Accommodate more free speech.
Accommodate more free speech. Okay. So back to Abrego Garcia.
Wait, why are we going back to Abrego Garcia? Why can't you defend your position?
No, the original point was Abrego Garcia.
Well, okay.
You deflected over to a moral reason as to why the Supreme Court should have an opinion versus a lawful reason.
Okay, can I clear up the air? Because I think you're confused.
No, I'm going to bring it back to Abrego Garcia. So Abrego Garcia.
But you made fake claims that you never conceded on. Like, I just want you to concede that you're wrong. Like, you said that there's a contradiction in my position because I think that access to abortion should be federally protected, even though the Supreme Court has ruled that it's legal for states to criminalize it. Okay, well, just because something's legal doesn't mean that it's good. And just because something's illegal doesn't mean it's bad.
You can try to save face for your echo chamber to try to walk back your claim on.
Wait, what claim am I walking back? Be specific.
You don't want it to be perceived that you're agreeing that it is lawful that the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and that it is lawful for states to restrict a woman's right to an abortion.
No, everybody, perceive me. I'm clear. It's lawful.
Good. So that's on the record. Okay, back to Abrego Garcia.
Once again, I just wanted to explain that doesn't contradict anything else I've ever said.
So Abrego Garcia, you made it.
Wait. No, tell me what that contradicts. And what?
No, you're trying to derail the Abrego Garcia.
No, you're the one that said there's some type of contradiction within between the view that it's lawful for states to criminalize abortion and my view that I think it should be protected at the federal level.
You said that there's a moral reasoning for disagreeing with the Supreme Court opinion, right?
No,
that's what you said.
I don't even disagree.
Yes. You can rewind your viewer. Everyone watching on YouTube can rewind about a minute and 30 seconds and see that you did. So
once again, what I disagree with is it being legislated on by the state level. I want it to be legislated on by the federal level with federal policy in Congress, Jay. Why are you being so disingenuous?
It's been legislated at the federal level, and they've determined that it's up to the individual states.
That's actually not true.
What's not true?
Yeah, the Dobbs decision that rescinded Roe v. Wade sent it back to the people and their representatives, not on the state level, but also on the federal level.
So it's unlawful for states to based on what you're claiming now, it's unlawful for states to restrict a woman's right to an abortion.
Okay, once again, just another disingenuous straw man. No, it's up to the people and representatives, both on the state and federal level.
Then if you think my argument is a disingenuous straw man, allow me to move on to its relevance to Abrego Garcia.
No, because I want you to admit that it was a disingenuous straw man. It was sent back to the people and their representatives.
It's not a disingenuous straw man.
The representatives either exist on the federal or state level. I'm not familiar with
your claim that it actually wasn't left up to the states via the Dobbs decision.
It was left up to the people and their representatives on the federal and state level, meaning that state legislators can make a determination for their jurisdiction, but so can federal legislators such as Congress.
Great, and Congress is controlled by who?
Well, right now, Trump. That's why.
And we require how much of a majority?
And that's why I do these lives. So there's less Republicans in Congress.
What type of majority for that type of legislation to get passed?
Well, I'm agnostic. It could require 60 to bypass a filibuster, or it could be just a simple majority. But I don't understand why this is relevant.
So I'm making the point that it doesn't matter your claim that, it was federal, it's up to state legislatures and federal. Regardless, the state is in control and not the federal government.
That's not true.
You can interpret it differently.
Wait, are you saying that the federal government couldn't pass policy in Congress to federally criminalize or protect access to abortion?
What's that?
Could Congress today pass legislation to either federally criminalize or federally protect women's access to abortion?
To criminalize it?
Or protect it, yeah.
I'm not sure if I understand.
Could Congress get together today and pass legislation to federally ban or federally protect access to abortion?
If there were enough to pass a vote on that.
Great, so then they do have control too. Thanks for conceding.
But those are state elected officials, right?
But it's not the state government. It's a federal government. You said that the state government was in control, not the federal government.
Well, but let's realize this. Don't look at me like you're confused. Each state is weighing in by electing its said representatives, correct?
Yeah, and that's what constitutes the federal government.
That's state control, not federal.
Okay,
so ultimately federal decisions.
So then you don't think that
ultimately, if there are more state representatives that lean to a particular political side on the issue, it's left up to the states, my friend. Otherwise, these elected officials.
So then you think that everything
remain in office.
So then you think that everything outside of executive,
just like many Democrats are calling for.
So then you think that everything outside of EOs from the president are controlled by the states, like tax policy on the federal level, under your view, is controlled by the states.
No, I think that.
Wait, why? Because the people that voted for federal tax policy were state representatives.
Will you allow me to talk? Honestly, I don't understand your point. It's maybe I'm too dumb. And go ahead and clip that. Go ahead and clip it.
Well, but I'm using your manipulative logic, and you're not understanding your own manipulative logic.
You're trying to avoid manipulative logic because you understand that the way Abrego Garcia is going to get tied in here is that if you'll allow me, and you try to avoid it, is you said that there's a moral reason to disagree with SCOTUS decisions when it came to the Roe v. Wade being overturned, correct?
I said that.
You said you.
Yeah, you could. Yes. I mean, I don't think. I'm sure that there's one that exists. Yes, you could have moral reasons to disagree
You went
with
away
SCOTUS's
from your
opinions.
argument with the previous
Correct.
gentleman about the dominance of a SCOTUS decision.
Jay, you could
because there's
absolutely.
also
I'm going to make it clear. I'm affirming what you're saying. You could absolutely have moral reasons to disagree
Excellent.
with SCOTUS.
So
with what SCOTUS
we
says.
should morally disagree with individuals who choose to illegally enter our country, correct?
So you can make a moral argument. I disagree with it. But now this is an entirely.
No.
And
I'm not even referencing
Jay, can I
people who
finish
are
speaking?
claiming asylum. I'm not referencing people
Jay,
fleeing.
if you're
violence.
gonna ask me a question, I'd appreciate it if you let me finish.
No, I'm going to ask you yes or no. We disagree.
So then I'm gonna put you on mute, and I'm gonna let myself finish. Come on, man. So
no,
anyways,
you can choose to derail a question and demand
I'm
that
not
yes or no
derailing
from
a
other
question.
people.
I'm not derailing
Then-
any fucking thing.
Okay, then
You
yes.
said we can have moral reason to disagree with the SCOTUS's opinion about the legality of the deportation of his removal, right? So like you could just simply say that his illegal deportation was moral. You can make an argument for that. I mean, I'll prove it wrong, but you can make an argument for that. Yeah. But that wasn't the original claim. The original claim that the last guest made was that it literally wasn't illegal.
So we have what's called expedited removal, correct?
Yep.
And under what terms would that be lawful to utilize expedited removal?
I'm unaware. I don't know. But I do
You don't know.
No,
So-
because I'm not a fucking immigration lawyer. Do you know?
Oh, so you are. Wait. You are in a position to weigh in and deem that like Abrego Garcia's removal was unlawful, and although that's further validated by the Supreme Court decision.
Wait. I didn't weigh in myself. I just like echoed like what the fucking ruling from the SCOTUS was.
Right, but before there was a decision or an opinion from SCOTUS on this particular individual's quote unquote alleged illegal deportation, was it illegal?
Yeah, because the administration admitted it.
What's that? Sorry, I got an incoming call right as you were stating.
It was illegal before the SCOTUS made their determination.
Okay, so let's agree. Although I don't, let's agree that it was illegal.
Wait, do you disagree with that? Why is Jay being so manipulative?
So let's agree that it was illegal.
Great.
But he was already deported, correct? The illegal act was already committed.
Yeah.
Okay. And now the Supreme Court has demanded that the Trump administration, quote unquote, facilitate his return, right?
Yeah. You keep.
Yes. Yeah. The answer is yes.
Yes.
So what does facilitate mean? How would you define it?
To try to make it happen. To the best of your ability.
Try to make what happen?
Is return to America. But now, like the specific legal definition of facilitating his return.
Exactly.
And what that actually looks like is
It's
right
more
now being
vague.
delineated by a circuit court as we speak.
Yes.
It's being delineated by a
It's
circuit
more
court.
vague. And so but let's say that.
Why are we
he
talking
does
about the
need to
facilitation
return.
of his
Let's say they
return?
delineate that and determine he does need to be returned because of the new term definition of facilitate. Now, you expect Bukele or whatever the El Salvador's president to then return him, a now declared terrorist, to be returned to the U.S.?
Well, I definitely would expect. Wait, declared by whom?
What do you mean declared by whom?
Who's he been declared a terrorist by?
So who has been declared a terrorist? What groups have been declared terrorists by this administration?
No, you're not answering my question. Who declared that Abrego
MS-13.
Garcia
It's a
was
simple
terrorist?
answer. You're avoiding the answer because you
No,
don't think other people know.
you're the one that is supposed to be giving a simple answer, and you're the one that's avoiding. Who declared Abrego Garcia a terrorist?
MS-13 collectively as a gang has been declared a terrorist organization.
And how do we know that Abrego Garcia is a part of MS-13? Who's made that?
There's
declaration?
been confirmed connections between him as far as
by what
in
court?
the evidence. They have not released that, but allegedly there are confirmed connections between him and MS-13.
Okay.
And I'm sure that
Wait,
that evidence
so-
will eventually
wait.
become more.
Wait, so you're saying that an allegation is a declaration?
They've built a claim.
Okay, so then
To-
Donald Trump is a declared 26 count rapist because he's been accused 26 times.
No, you gotta no. He's
Okay,
been
so
found
then
guilty.
an accusation is not a declaration.
Don't lie to your. Don't. There have been people who have been charged with defamation for that sort of claim. You know that it's not rape. It's sexual abuse, and I'm surprised that you're even saying rape, because in the past you always used to say grape. Like the Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Great.
You can laugh. Who is she? She's the Attorney General, right?
Who's SCOTUS? Well, I know that SCOTUS said in their ruling that the quote-unquote United States alleges that he's a member of MS-13 without a declaration. Did you know that? Like even they just reference it as an allegation?
Correct. It's an allegation because the case and presenting that evidence is still, we're still awaiting that.
So then earlier you said that it was declared that he was a part of MS-13. So an allegation is sufficient evidence for a declaration. So using your logic that an allegation is a sufficient reason.
You're just
for
getting hung up on the fact that I used the word declared.
I am.
Forgive the
I
word.
absolutely am. But the reason I'm getting hung up on
And
that,
I'm going to get hung up on the fact that
so,
you called
Jay-
Trump a rapist when you know that that's false.
okay, sure, let's talk about that. It's not false.
It is.
No. Why do you think it's false?
He was found guilty of sexual or liable of sexual abuse,
Yeah,
not
yes.
rape.
Oh, so he needs to be found liable for rape specifically in order for it to be rape?
No, you recognize that I'm not agreeing with what you said. I'm
Sure
saying
you are.
no, here's what the truth is.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask away, Dean.
Does your definition of rape include the virtual forceful penetration of a woman's female member with a man's fingers?
What?
Does your definition of rape include the forceful non-consensual penetration of a woman's female members with a man's fingers?
I do believe that that would constitute rape.
Yeah, well, to the court, that only constituted SA, but because we both believe it constitutes rape, I call him a rapist.
But was it confirmed that he did that?
Yeah, by the jury. Unanimously.
No, it was
Unanimously.
determined. It was determined what?
It was determined unanimously that he did that, yeah.
That he was it more likely than not that he.
Oh, now you're actually shifting the goalpost. I'll explain to you how. Because
No.
originally,
I'm not shifting the goalpost. We're
Jay,
utilizing the legal terms.
I have a verbal explanation that is very clear insofar as how you're shifting the goalpost. Can I explain?
No, not shifting. Just like you wanted to deflect the Rodrigo Garcia.
So if you're not actually Jay, listen to me.
Wade, you want to deflect.
If you're not actually shifting the goalposts, then my explanation should be incoherent garbage, and I'm about to make myself look terrible.
I mean, you're gonna.
So let me make myself look terrible by explaining how you're shifting the goalposts.
It's not shifting the goalpost. It's a relevant point.
Well, I disagree, and I think I could explain why I disagree. But if I'm wrong and you're
disagreement
right,
doesn't equate truth,
then I'm going to look crazy. So let me make myself
You
look
do
crazy.
look crazy. Your rants and
Okay, I'm going to mute you and I'm going to explain it. So, anyways, you're shifting the goalposts because your original claim was
you look
act-
crazy.
Okay,
Just like when you thank your guests, it's performative.
boo. The only thing that looks crazy is
Evaluated
CJ.
by psychologists, there would be multiple diagnoses with how messed up you are.
The cope. I love it. More tears, please.
Cope. It's the truth. It's reality.
Well, more tears, please. Give me another couple. Come on.
I mean, it's very evident that you're self-destructive.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I feel
Nice.
bad for your heart condition or whatever issues you're having with your
Yeah.
heart.
Do you happen to
but
have
it's
a
very
ukulele
obvious
that you
every
could get
time
out
you take
too?
a long drag from your anxiety, quote unquote, anxiety pen.
Do you have any?
That has actual impacts on your cardiac health.
So do you have a ukulele
also-
that you could get out with the tears? It's more fun. Because you're crying right
Ukulele?
now. Yeah, if you were like playing the ukulele while you were crying, it'd be a little entertaining, I guess.
Dean, I didn't find anything, so you were right on that behalf. But I'm gonna go ahead and speak up before I go ahead and leave. Jay, honestly, if you want me to be honest, bro, you're getting cooked worse than I am. You're getting your shit rocked, bro. I would just give up. I got my shit absolutely cooked, but you're getting fucking rocked, bro. Just give up.
Caleb, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you were like a Dean debate plant because he wasn't having any luck getting guests up.
I actually don't know, Dean. I'm just here just for fucking education wise. I like to be educated, but with this whole rape case, if you want me to be dead honest, bro. So at me as a sexual assault victim myself, I was raped in my past. I'm gonna go ahead and say, bro, he was found liable in court, although that doesn't mean he was criminally accused, or he was accused actually. It doesn't mean he was criminally charged for rape.
So the state of New York,
He was found liable for it, meaning an entire jury, along with an entire trial, said that he did it. You can't really fight that, brother.
Hey, Caleb.
New York implemented what was the
Shut up for a minute, Jay. Caleb, I'm not
Yeah,
going to
go
lie.
ahead.
You, in the debate we had, one of the most insufferable arguments I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, I get it.
But, because you are now admitting that you get it, I have hope for you. I do. Regardless of how crazy and insufferable your claims were, the fact you
Caleb,
could recognize that. Shut up, Jay.
Dean
One
in his
second.
echo chamber.
The fact that you could make that recognition, I have hope for
kissed
you.
the ring.
I have hope for you. I guess I'm going to go and talk to Jay. Just know that I have hope for you. And I really hope that you actualize upon that hope. And I hear from you in like 6 months and you're like, Dean, I was totally wrong. Jesus Christ. I was not upholding the oath that I agreed to. And I'm incredibly sorry to hear about the experience that you went through in your youth. But Caleb, have a good rest of your day, your man. I have hope for you.
One last thing for Jay. Just go ahead and drop the topic and pivot, brother. You're losing. Yeah.
Caleb, don't use your military service as a platform. You don't speak for all of us.
I kicked Caleb because I think it'd be incredibly unfair to see your delusion and grandeur and rage be directed at the guy. Now, Jay, he was right. You are getting cooked.